In a constructivist classroom, learning is constructed. Students are not blank slates upon which knowledge is etched. They come to learning situation with already formulated knowledge, ideas, and understanding. This previous knowledge is the raw material for the new knowledge they will create.
Example, Teacher Kathleen is an elementary school teacher who presents a class problem to measure the length of the Mayflower. Rather than starting the problem by introducing the ruler, Teacher Kathleen allows students to reflect and to construct their own method of measurement. One student, Amir, offers the knowledge that a doctor said he is 4 feet tall. Victoria knows horses are measured in hands. The students discuss these and other methods they have heard about and decide on one to apply to the problem.
Active. The student is the person who creates new understanding for him or herself. The teacher coaches, moderates, suggests, but allows the students room to experiment, ask questions, try things that don't work. Learning activities require the students' full participation, like hand-on experiments. An important part of the learning process is that students reflect on and talk about their activities. Students also help set their own goals and means of assessment.
Example, Teacher Bea, a middle school language arts teacher, set aside time each week for a writing lab. The emphasis is on content and getting ideas down rather than memorizing grammatical rules. One of the teacher, Bea's concern is the ability of his students to express themselves well through written language. It provides opportunities for students to examine the finished and early drafts of various authors. Teacher Bea allows students to select and create projects within the general requirements of building a portfolio 1. Students serve as peer editors who value originality and uniqueness rather than the best way of fulfill an assignment.
Reflective. Students control their own learning process, and they lead the way by reflecting on their experiences. This process makes them expert of their own learning. The teacher helps create situations where the students feel safe questioning and reflecting on their own processes, either privately or in a group discussion. The teacher should also create activities that lead the students to reflect on his or her prior knowledge and experiences. Talking about what was learned and how it was learned is really important.
Example, students of Section St. Francis Grade 7 keep journals in a writing class where they record how they felt about the class projects, the visual and verbal reactions of others to the project, how they felt their own writing had changed. Periodically, Teacher Mauricio reads these journals and holds a conference with the students where the two assess 1. What new knowledge the students has created, 2. How the students learn best, and 3. The learning environment of the teacher's role in it.
Collaborative. The constructivist classroom relies heavily on collaboration among students. There are many reasons why collaboration contributes to learning. The main reason it is used so much in constructivism is that students learn about learning not only from themselves, but also from their peers. When students review and reflect on their learning processes together, they can pick up strategies and methods from one another.
Example, in the course of studying ancient civilization, students of grade 8 Acacia undertake an archaeological dig. This may be something constructed in a large sandbox, or as in the Dalton School's archaeotype for simulation on a computer. As the students find different objects, Teacher Chrisma introduces classifying techniques. The students are encouraged to 1. Set up a group museum by developing criteria and choosing which objects should belong. And 2. Collaborate with other students who work in a different quadrants of the dig. Each group is then asked to develop theories about the civilizations that inhabited the area.
Inquiry-based. The main activity in a constructivist classroom is solving problems. Students use inquiry methods to ask questions, investigate a topic, and use a variety of resources to find solutions and answers. As students explore the topic, they draw conclusions, and as exploration continues, they revisit those conclusions. Exploration of questions leads to more questions.
Example, 6th graders of St. Benedict figuring out how to purify water investigates solutions ranging from coffee filter paper to a stove-top distillation apparatus to files of charcoals to an abstract mathematical solution based on size of a water molecules. Depending upon students' responses, teacher Baisheba encourages abstract as well as concrete, poetic as well as practical, creations of new knowledge.
Evolving. Students have ideas that they might later see were invalid, incorrect, or insufficient to explain new experiences. These ideas are temporary steps in the integration of knowledge. For instance, a child may believe that all trees lost their leaves in the fall until she visits an evergreen forest. Constructivist teaching takes into account students' current conceptions and build from there.
So, what happens when the students gets a new piece of information? The constructivist model says that the student compares the information to the knowledge and understanding she already has. And one of the three things can occur is
the new information matches up with his previous knowledge pretty well. It's consonant with the previous knowledge, so the student adds it to his understanding. It may take some work, but it's just a matter of finding the right fit as with a puzzle piece. The information doesn't match previous knowledge, it's dissonant. The student has to change her previous understanding to find a fit for the information. This can be harder work. The information doesn't match previous knowledge and it is ignored. Rejected bits of information may just not be absorbed by the student, or they may float around, waiting for the day when the student's understanding has developed and permits a fit.
Example, Teacher Ezekiel, an elementary teacher, believes her students are ready to study gravity. He creates an environment of discovery with objects of varying kinds. Students explore the differences of weight among similarly sized blocks of styrofoam, wood, and lead. Some students hold the notion that heavier objects fall faster than light ones. Teacher Ezekiel provides materials, stories, posters, and videos about Galileo, Newton, and etc. He leads a discussion on theories about falling. The students then replicate Galileo's experiment by dropping objects of different weights and measuring how fast they fall. They see that objects of different weights actually usually fall at the same speed, although surface area and aerodynamic properties can affect the rate of fall.
How does this theory differ from traditional ideas about teaching and learning? In the constructivist classroom, the focus tends to shift from the teacher to the students. The classroom is no longer a place where the teacher or an expert pour knowledge into passive students, who waits like empty vessels to be filled. In the constructivist model, the students are urged to be actively involved in their own process of learning. The teacher functions more as a facilitator who coaches, mediates, prompts, and helps students develop and assess their understanding and thereby their learning. One of the teacher's biggest jobs becomes asking good questions. And in the constructivist classroom, both teacher and students think of knowledge not as inert factoid to be memorized, but as a dynamic, ever-changing view of the world we live in, and the ability to successfully stretch and explore that view.
That's all. Thank you.